So I wanted to talk about how to finish your PhD thesis quickly. I think that this is a really important thing for you to think about, and it's going to be very helpful for you. I'm just on my walk right now with Izzy. There's my dog. And I just wanted to talk about that. There's actually really 3 things that you can do to finish your PhD thesis quickly. And it's probably not like the advice that you're going to be told in other areas. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for you. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Matzak. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation, Strategy, and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So I actually study a lot about knowledge and innovation, and this kind of relates very closely to my topical area of research and how I understand, how to do things sort of quickly within firms, because you yourself are a little sole proprietor and you're selling your ideas to get things done. So the best thing that you could possibly do is to create a small, it's sort of small thing that you are addressing, and it has to be concrete and very certain. And the more that you could do this, the easier it's going to be. And so what you have to do is look for, the first thing that you have to do. So number one, first thing that you have to do is look for PhD advisors or the external evaluators, whatever group that you're looking for that need to be assessing your work. They need to have sort of a good sense of what it is that you're doing. So very much so in the topical area of what you're looking at, but also this is for quick, right? This is for expediency. They have to have low standards so you can get the stuff done, right? The higher the standards are, the higher it is, the harder it is to actually get the stuff done. So you need to look for somebody that is actually going to be very accommodating to be able to get this work done, because you need to simply get it done, right? So sometimes you need to do that, whatever the thing that you're looking at, right? So looking for, lower quality, I don't know if I want to say that out loud, but, somebody that is going to let things go a little bit more. So that's the first thing that's really important. Look for somebody, the outside examiners or your thesis advisor that will be accommodating to get this thing done. The second thing is to pick a topical area that is very conventional. And most things, when you look at it, you're going to think it's very conventional and it's been done before. But surprisingly, a lot of things haven't been done before. So you want to make sure that what you're doing is, and this is going to make it a lot easier for you, is to make sure that you're using a conventional theory that people have done, but you're stretching the theory a little bit more, and as well as a conventional way of collecting data that people have done before. So very standard. And then finally, you want to be doing some sort of standard conventional methodological approach. So in my field, to get it done, it would probably be the easiest thing is to do survey research of a group that's easy to get access to. That would be the easiest way to do it. Survey research is still really tough, and I'm not saying that is like it's going to be easy to get published with it, but it's going to be the easiest way to get a dissertation done, a thesis done. So that's an important thing to think about, right? So looking for standard approaches, and it's just because you don't want to, kind of relates to the sort of assumption that you don't want to stretch the knowledge too much, and the more that you stretch the knowledge, the more that you have to look at different assumptions and justify everything that you're doing. You're still going to have to do that, but you want to stick within the domain that you are within. So if you've taken courses, if you're sort of standard fields courses that you're looking at, make sure that you just use the methods and the approaches that are within the standard domain. And then you could just simply say, hey, somebody else has done this, and you just build upon that. So it goes with the constructs that you're using as well. Standard constructs is going to be the best way that you could possibly do it. Everything should be standardized, and it's not really extending the theory a heck of a lot, but you could say that it's a theoretical contribution. So that's the important thing to think about. Now, the last thing that I think is incredibly important, number 3, and it's a little bit of a learned skill, is don't touch the data until you have a really good sense of what you're doing. And you might actually want to jump into it and start analyzing data and all that kind of stuff the get-go. This is where I actually believe a little bit in hypothesis testing, because it teaches you not to touch the data until you're really ready and it's really concrete. And so the more that you can push that out, that's going to be the most time-consuming part. And you want to have everything so pre-planned and so specified that you're simply just executing. And the more that you simply just execute, the less that you're going to get caught up in, you can't find how to do this thing. You can't sort of solve different problems. All of that stuff is very time consuming. And the more that you could just simply just execute and get it done, for example, you might think about doing a mean of something. So you specify that before you even approach the data that you're looking at, and you just do a mean, right? You just run a mean. Well, sometimes what you're going to want to do, if you're kind of doing, just data analysis, instead of doing a mean, you'll go and do a median, or you might do different, maybe standard deviation, or, you might be looking at variance or something like that. If you're kind of looking around, looking for interesting patterns. But instead, what you should be doing is saying, hey, the literature has approached this as a mean, and we're going to view it as a mean, right? We're going to just look at variant, or we're just going to look at means testing, for example, between different data points or different constructs. And the more that it's very standardized like that, the more that you pre-specify and everything is done, if you run into problems, you just simply move on to the next thing, right? Instead of trying to take a deep dive and say, hey, we didn't find anything, we just simply say we followed convention and, we got non-significant results in this case. So instead of actually looking and trying to make sense of what's going on, you just move on to the next thing. And you just simply say, hey, didn't work out, moved on to the next thing, and then you just move on to the next sort of type of analysis that you're doing. And the more that you pre-specify absolutely everything, the type of, regression that you're using, the type of, what's your construct look like, what are going to be your, post hoc tests and all those different things, the more that you pre-specify and actually write it out, like you sit down and write it out, and you write out, this is what my expectation is, this is what I'm expecting to happen, this is how I'm going to approach it. It's going to be a heck of a lot easier. And then you're going to instead of spending, a month, a couple months sort of doing this data analysis stuff, you'll spend like a couple of weeks doing it. Trust me, that's the best tip to make things a lot more concrete. And what you're doing is you're making knowledge, instead of it squishy and qualitative, you're making it more concrete, you're making it more solid, you're making it less of a distance, it's less of a jump from existing core bodies of knowledge. And that's a really important thing, because that's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier as you're doing this. So those 3 things are going to aid with making your PhD thesis that much more quicker, and it's going to benefit you. Hopefully this helped you out, and good luck on it all. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.